Mike Dell's World, number 152 for March 2nd, 2010.
I'd rather pass a kidney stone than another night with you. If you really loved me, then you'd leave. I liked you better before I knew you so well. Babe, you hurt the love right out of me. Don't come home drinking with loving on your mind. I hate every bone in your body except mine. I'm so miserable without you, it's like having you here. Babe, I'm getting gray from being blue. But if you don't leave me, I'll find someone who will. Is it cold in here, or is it you? I'm just a bug on the windshield of life. If you wanna keep the beer cold, put it next to my ex-wife. If you wanna know just how you done me wrong, it's all there in the title of the song. Walk out backwards slowly so I'll think you're walking in. Your teeth are stained, but your heart is pure. I'd kiss you through the screen door, but it might strain our love. Why have you left the one you left me for? It's not the high cost of living, but the cost of living high. Get your tongue out of my mouth, 'cause I'm kissing you goodbye. If you wanna know just how you done me wrong, it's all there in the title of the song. It's all there in the title of the song.
Good morning, good evening, whatever the case may be. Hey, this is Mike, and you're listening to Mike Dell's World, as I said before the song. Anyway, that song was called, what was that called? That was called Country Song Titles by Todd Chappelle over at musicalley.com. Yeah, sorry I missed last week. I actually sat down to record and got screwing around with music and then fell asleep in front of the microphone at the desk. And then Wednesday I was going to record, and I thought, the heck with it. I had enough other projects going, so like I said, sorry I kind of blew you guys off, but appreciate you making time in your busy schedule to listen to little old me ramble on about whatever I'm going to ramble on about and play music for you and whatever else. So let's see what's been going on the last couple of weeks. Not a whole lot. Weather's been stable. Hey, whenever you can talk about the weather for a very short amount of time, that's a good thing, especially around here in the winter. But we've only got about 20 more days of official winter left, and it doesn't look like we're going to get a whole lot more snow. I'm sure we'll get our obligatory March snowstorm, but I think for the most part we're done with it. And I've only had to run the snowblower twice this year. Maybe 3 times. I think I ran it 3 times, but I only really had to twice. And so that's not going to be good for the lakes, but I guess there's enough snow in New York and other parts of the Great Lakes. Just up north here we didn't get it. Downstate Michigan got more snow than they're used to, and Ohio definitely got dumped on, and out east it got really dumped on. But we sort of escaped it for the most part this year. Not that I'm complaining. And even if I was complaining, who would care much about it? So anyway, I've been 2 weeks without doing my radio show too. First Tuesday there is because of my dental procedure. And then last week I thought, well, I could go do it, but it'd be nice just to take another night off. And so I let the music director for folk do it for me. He said he wanted to do a folk show since he hasn't done one in a while, so I just let him do that. So I guess it turned out all right. I slept through most of it. Been definitely keeping up on my sleep, which is good, especially when I fall asleep in front of the microphone. Actually, I wasn't recording when I fell asleep, but woke up an hour and a half later with a crick in my neck and everything all set up to record. So, yeah, whatever. Been busy with other podcasting projects. In case you didn't know, I started a new podcast. I know, that's just what I need, yet another podcast. But this one is more in line with what I did with Strange Today. Now, I know I said, these daily podcasts daily scripted podcast wasn't my thing, and this one isn't as scripted as Strange Today, but it's along the same lines. It's called Today in Aviation History. And it's just a little 3 to 5 minute deal, and I got about 10 days worth already recorded and ready to go and uploaded. I got a whole bunch of the research already done for the entire year, so I'm just going to keep plugging away at those as I get time, and hopefully be able to do 365 days in a row without missing one. And it shouldn't be too hard to do if I keep ahead of it. And like I said, in about 2 hours' time, I knocked out 10 of them on Sunday, I guess it was, I recorded. And had them they're all uploaded, and they drop at around midnight Eastern time every night. So go check that out if you're at all interested. I enjoy it, and like I said, it's something I'm interested in, and should be useful. And as is with everything, I should get better at it as time goes on. But yeah, you never know. Like I said, it took a while to get Strange Today nailed down, and then, like I said, after a while, that just got to be drudgery. But this won't be drudgery. This will be good because, like I said, I enjoy recording. I've got time to do it as long as I stay ahead of it. I just don't want to have to record one every day. I'd like to be able to knock out, week, 10 days at a time in one sitting and get them done. But anyway, you can find that over at Geek of the North. It's actually part of that website. It's not going to get its own website. And there is a feed. If you look on the sidebar there, you can cut and paste the RSS feed. I don't have the fancy iTunes buttons, although you can find it over in iTunes. It's listed already. It's also listed over, or it will be. I don't think it is yet, but it will be listed at blueberry.com. And it'll be part of the Tech Podcast Network in a week or 2 or 3, something like that. So anyway, that's my self-promotion for today, or at least for right now anyhow. So picture this. You're on the phone with a client or a colleague trying to explain something visual, a PowerPoint, a website. But it's frustrating because they can't see what you're talking about. Well, I've got good news. They can if you invite them to an online meeting using GoToMeeting. They can see your computer desktop on their computer screen. You can show them what you're talking about. I use GoToMeeting all the time to collaborate with clients and colleagues, and that guy down in Florida that I keep talking about. So go check it out. GoToMeeting's simply the easiest way to do this. You simply send them a link, in text message or in an email or however you want to get it to them, or tell them over the phone, and they just go to GoToMeeting and type in the meeting ID number that you give them, and voila, they can see your computer and you can explain everything to them. You can use voice over IP or just use the telephone, either way. But you can get GoToMeeting for free for 30 days, but you must visit gotomeeting.com/techpodcast. That's gotomeeting.com/techpodcast for your free 30-day trial. Okay, and we thank Citrix, the parent company of GoToMeeting, for advertising with us and many of the shows on the Blueberry and Raw Voice networks. And without them, a lot of these shows that you're enjoying wouldn't be around. So anyway, yeah, in podcasting world, there's definitely a lot going on, a lot of new stuff coming. So if you're interested in that sort of stuff, keep checking over at techpodcast.com and blueberry.com. Got a lot of stuff going on over there, and happy to say I'm still involved and having a good time with that. So anyway, I want to tell you something that's going to probably sound a little extreme, but I think I'm about to retire my iPod, at least for podcast listening. I've been using an iPod now, I don't know, I wouldn't remember when they came out exactly, but it wasn't too long afterwards, once they made the version that worked on a PC, that I've had an iPod. And I've been listening to podcasts since podcasting was invented. And that's what I listen to at work at night. I'm listening a minimum of 7 hours a night, and sometimes up to 9-10 hours at a time. And let's see, I've gone through 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm on my 5th iPod. And I've plain wore out 3 of the 5. So it's, just the batteries die or something else went whack-a-ding-hoy and everything. But anyway, Google Listen came out on the Android platform when Android 2.0 came out, about the same time the Motorola Droid hit the market. Of course, I got a Droid a couple weeks after they hit the market, and I never did like Google Listen. I played with it, tried to make it work. It just didn't flip my trigger. It was a real pain in the butt to subscribe to a podcast on it because you had to type it in using the phone keyboard. And, and the keyboard's good, but it's not good enough to, I don't even like to do it on a regular, computer keyboard. I just soon cut and paste and, those long XML addresses, RSS feeds, is such a pain to do that. That's what's holding podcasting back, by the way, but that's a whole nother discussion. But anyway, Google Listen, which was the program that's supposed to do that, never did until they came out with this newest update. And about, maybe a week and a half ago, came out with a new version of Google Listen, and the key feature of this that made it worthwhile for me is they tied it with Google Reader, another program I really didn't have a lot of use for, because it was just reading, feed reader and blog, for reading blogs and stuff. And the few blogs that I read, I just went to the blog itself, saved a step, because every time I got into Google Reader, there'd be 1,000 articles that I hadn't read yet, and usually I just say, heck with it, mark all of them read and start over. It's kind of like an email box, and really didn't have a use for that. And I still don't really have a use for that functionality, but when they combined Google Listen and Google Reader together, that made it really handy. So now all I do is I subscribe to the podcast feed that I want to listen to in Reader, drag it into a folder called Listen Subscriptions, and it syncs to my phone. So now I can do all the subscribing and unsubscribing and all that stuff on the computer, and then it just automatically syncs to the phone. It'll sync over 3G, it'll sync via Wi-Fi. You can set it to, I've got it set so it only downloads podcasts when it's charging, and when I'm home, it only does it when I'm on Wi-Fi. When I go away from home, I turn off that feature, if I want to download something in the middle of my shift at work. And that's the other thing, a lot of podcasts are released overnight. Well, some nights, I want to get them hot and fresh. So, I couldn't do that before because, I'd have to come home, plug the iPod into the computer and all that. And now, if when Todd does his Geek News Central podcast, if I want to listen to him hot off the presses, it's great. I just, hit his feed there and Google Listen and download latest, and boom, it's there, and I can start reading. It'll stream, actually, so you don't even have to download the whole thing. You just start it downloading and hit play, and it'll generally stay ahead of it on 3G. It's great. It does sort of suck the battery. Using it as a player doesn't seem to affect the battery at all, or hardly, as long as it's not having to download it while you're listening. But so far, I did all last week. I synced the iPod and, had the Droid doing the Google Listen. Well, then I decided last night I went ahead and I cleaned all the podcast feeds off of my iTunes for my iPod, and then I synced a bunch of music and audiobooks. Droid still won't do Audible audiobooks, but I guess that's coming. But so all last week, half of last week, and so far this week, I've been using the Droid exclusively for my podcast listening and podcast aggregator. Now, the Listen does also has another limitation. It won't do video. So the video podcasts I listen to or watch, I still have syncing to the computer, which syncs to my Apple TV, so I can sit there and watch podcasts on my 40-inch flat screen. But that's a whole nother bag of worms. Another thing I found, we had that big earthquake there in Chile, or however you want to pronounce it. And, of course, they had the tsunami warnings for the Pacific and Hawaii in particular. And so I was sitting there in my easy chair, watching, some TV station in Hawaii on the laptop, and then flipped around on Ustream. There was a couple people that were streaming over there, and Todd Cochran, who lives in Honolulu, or near Honolulu, he come up on Ustream and was playing some local TV and doing a few other things there, and had people calling in on Skype, and it was just actually a pretty good time, especially since it turned into pretty much a nothing. But as far as the tsunami, the earthquake was something else. But and that brings me to another point, but I'll get to that afterwards. But so I'm sitting there in my easy chair. Well, the wife decides, you need to get out of the house, and I'm like, well, I'm kind of watching this, and she wanted to go up to Ace Hardware, and then wanted to stop over at Bayview Inn. It's a little bar on the beach, looking at frozen East Bay. Really isn't a great view, but the place is called the Bayview Inn. And so meet some friends there. So I thought, well, what the heck? I wonder if you can watch Ustream on the Droid. And so I did a search on the Android market, and sure enough, there's a beta version of Ustream for Android. So I downloaded that, took a minute, and I fired up Todd's stream there. It was really easy to search. And found Todd's stream and hit that, and got on the road with the wife, or she's driving, I'm riding, as we're going down the road, I'm watching Ustream on my phone, and I got to thinking about it the other night. That Droid has completely replaced, and I don't know the exact number, but I'll go through the list, but it's replaced many gadgets, or has the potential to replace many gadgets. It has completely replaced my Palm, PDA, which of course my BlackBerry did that. So, but it replaced that. It replaced the BlackBerry, replaced the telephone, because it is a telephone. It replaced a TomTom because it's got a very capable turn-by-turn GPS. In fact, it's more accurate than the TomTom, although the TomTom's a little easier to program a specific address into, but other than that, not much difference. It's in the process of replacing my iPod, which as soon as I get a podcatcher that'll do video and audible audiobooks, it'll replace that. It's replaced my digital camera. It's almost replaced the flip camera, although I still carry the flip because, something about as easy as that flip is to do video, I'd rather use that than the Droid. And the Droid's, camera isn't quite as good as a flip, but it's definitely as good as my 3 megapixel still cam because I never got a more modern still cam. And I'm not going to say it replaces the laptop, but on the road, last time we went downstate to visit, for just an overnighter, absolutely didn't take the laptop out of the bag the whole trip. And that's a first, because usually I'll take that laptop out and, do something on it. But, here I am answering emails and I'm getting my work email for Raw Voice and getting my, my personal email, and I'm able to answer things and able to look things up and all that. And of course, on the Droid also you can get Stitcher, which is another podcast player that's streaming. But I've used that. It's got Pandora, which, if you want to listen to music, unless you want to listen to something specific, Pandora, there's nothing better than that. I can even listen to my radio station, the one I work for, anywhere that I've got a 3G signal, and that's kind of handy. They're on streaming, and I've got a streaming radio player that plays them. So, it's things just like an all-in-one device. And, with the iPad coming out, I'm thinking that, it would really be great if somebody comes up with an Android pad. So anyway, this is beginning to sound like a Geek in the North episode, and I really wasn't planning on that, but I just wanted to tell you I'm really happy and excited that I'm finding so much use for my Droid phone here. So anyway, I'm going to play another tune here. This one's from the Mike Flinner Trio. Or is that Matt Flinner? I don't remember now. I'll have to look that up. Anyway, the song's called Atomic City.
listening to Mike on Mike Dell's World, a show about nothing.
Blueberry. This podcast is a member of the Blueberry Network. Blueberry. No E's. That's Blueberry, BLUBRRY.com. Blueberry.com.
And now that I've looked it up, I should have known that. That was Matt Flinner Trio. It's a mandolin player, a bass player, a big old upright bass, and a guitar player. And they do all instrumental stuff. I don't think I've heard any vocals from him, but maybe I have. Well, that's one of the many wonderful CDs we have down at the radio station of independent and hardly heard of artists. I shouldn't say hardly heard of. In some circles, I'm sure Matt's pretty popular. So, hey, I just got an email, and usually I don't get excited about getting an email, but finally, Hootsuite. That's a Twitter client that does a really good job. Well, Hootsuite just came out with their Android version of their application. They've got a Mac version, a PC version, iPhone version, but they never had an Android version. So I think I'm going to be downloading that as soon as I'm done getting this podcast uploaded to you guys. And I've been using Seismic actually, and so I'll probably just try Hootsuite. I use Hootsuite sometimes. The only nice thing about Hootsuite is it also has a web client, and I use the web client actually because I've got 4 Twitter accounts that I take care of, 3 of which are mine, and one's for work-related thing, and with that one you can control multiple accounts fairly easily, and I'm just hoping the Android version will do that pretty easy too. Like I said, I love Seismic for Android, and that's the one I have been using on Android or on the phone, and it works out good for one account, but I never really tried to do multiple accounts with it, and I don't want to have to sign in. By the way, in case you're interested, you can follow me over at Twitter. It's just MG Dell, just like Facebook and Plurk, and I don't know, just about any social networking site. It's MG Dell, so go check that out. That's my main one. And then I got Flight Radio for the flightradio.com website. And I've got Geek of the North. So if you want to follow me in all 3 places, that's where that is. And then I think there's one for the NMC or WNMC radio, but I don't remember the account name right off the top of my head. And oh yeah, I ordered a new webcam. Got a what was it? Quick Cam something. I don't remember now. Hang on. I'll tell you in a minute. So I got the receipt here from Amazon in my email box. So Amazon.com, your order has shipped. Yeah, okay. I got the Logitech Webcam Pro 9000, Quick Cam Pro 9000. It's a 2 megapixel webcam. It'll do HD widescreen, and I'm going to take this Dynex webcam, 1.3 megapixel, and I'm going to bring that to the radio station. I'm going to set that up there so I can do Ustream every time I do my radio show with a dedicated camera and the added bonus of taking the audio directly off of the board instead of through a microphone, as I've been doing when I've been doing it from the MacBook. So every Tuesday night, if you want to watch sausage being made, real FM radio being produced, you can watch me run back and forth and get CDs. That's really about all that goes on there. But be nice if you come by and chat with me while the music's playing or something. But anyway, check that out. When I get it together, I think probably next Tuesday I'll go set up the webcam, and then I'll just leave it there so that any of the DJs over there can sign on and go live from the basement of West Hall. Yeah, it's kind of like watching paint dry, but at least the music's good. Well, I think I'm going to call this a podcast. I do have another song I'm going to play. This is by Tom Smith over there at musicalley.com through the Funny Music Project. This one's called Bacon. It's done in a John Denver-ish style. So it's a pretty good song. Thinking I may play that tonight on the radio. Not sure, but I'm going to bring it just the same. So if you get this early enough in the day, tell me whether you think this would be radio safe or whatnot. But anyway, should be good. And it's a funny song, so, like I said, and I'm not going to come back afterwards, and I'm not lying to you. I'm just going to play this out and get this podcast uploaded and head off to bed. It's about 10 minutes till 11. I should have this wrapped up by 11:30 and go crawl in bed. So, and yes, I'm on Sydney time. I'm 13 hours off from everybody else's schedule. So, being that it's 10 minutes to 11 a.m., it'd be like 10 minutes to 11 p.m. for someone who works the day shift. So, as I tell Mike James, not Mike James, he's in Florida. As I tell Mike Jacobson, see another Mike J there, but Mike Jacobson down in Australia, that I'm on the same time zone he's on. And anyway, and if you want to watch live podcasting, I do Geek of the North live on Ustream on Thursday morning, somewhere between 9:30 and 10 o'clock Eastern time in the U.S. So join me for that. I actually have a few topics already written down for Geek of the North. And then, of course, daily, you can find Today in Aviation History also over at geekofthenorth.com. So, all right. Geez, I got to quit doing all this self-promotion. But, hey, how else are you guys going to know that I do more than this little brain dump of a podcast that I call Mike Dell's World? So, anyway, we'll catch you next week. And thanks for listening. And tell a friend about Mike Dell's World. They might not believe that you actually spend time listening to this. Anyway, here's Tom Smith with Bacon, my favorite food.
Now you can say a lot about a guy like me. I'm a spazzy fanboy watching too much TV, collecting action figures, comic books and such, and I like Wonder Woman just a little too much. But there is one thing you would be very mistaken to question my devotion. It will never be shaken. If you do, you'll see my wrath and then you'll be quaking. To put it plain and simple, I love bacon. I put bacon on my burger when I order double cheese. I put bacon on my salad, but I throw away the leaves. I grind bacon into powder and I mix it with my salt. I blend bacon with my ice cream and I make a bacon malt. I eat bacon all alone, I'll eat bacon in a group. I eat bacon chopped and mixed into my chicken noodle soup. I'll eat bacon with Doritos, an entire can of Spam, and I'll even top it off with Soylent Green eggs and ham. Bacon is delicious, it's so yummy, it's so great. Bacon is the substance stacked a foot high on my plate. Bacon is so tasty, is so awesome, it's the best. Bacon is the food that I keep tucked inside my vest.
Yum, eat 'em up, yum. Yum, yum, eat 'em up, yum.
If you say I like it too much, well, I say the hell with that. As I place upon my head a brand new stylin' bacon hat. It was made out of the meat strips that I constantly desire, fresh and hot off the wire from designer Oscar Mayer. So call me a dork when I eat it with a spork. I'm a rat of frats and Pac-Man eating dots of salted pork. It's an entree and a condiment, so kill the condemnation. And I hang it on my walls just to use as decoration. I eat bacon in the morning, I eat bacon in the night. I won bacon playing Plinko on the show The Price is Right. If you do not comprehend it, well, I guess I'll spell it out. B is for the byproducts like bristle grease and grout. A is for the apple smoky flavored Kadehi. C is for lettuce, which goes on a BLT. O is for ostrich. N is for never get a side order of sausage. Bacon is my dinner, is my dessert, is my snack. Bacon is the reason that your baby got back. Bacon is the ruler, is the master, bacon reigns. Bacon is what's clogging all my arteries and veins.
Eat 'em up, yum.
Could it be a big conspiracy that bacon's on my brain? Bacon was the dying word of Charles Foster Kane. Bacon's written backwards on an old Da Vinci scroll. Bacon was the second gunman on the grassy knoll. Bacon laundered all the cash of Mr. John Gotti. Bacon wrote the bylaws of the whole Illuminati. Bacon changed the recipe of Coke for no reasons. Bacon played Becky on Roseanne for 2 seasons. Bacon was the last opponent that Dale Earnhardt raced. Bacon is a Hanukkah gift for those with piss poor taste. Bacon crashed my car. Bacon shot JR. Bacon knows where Waldo Hoffa and Atlantis are. Bacon told Titanic not to worry about the ice. Bacon knows you're naughty, and it knows when you are nice. Bacon flew to Hiroshima when they dropped the bomb. Bacon is your father, 'cause it hooked up with your mom. Bacon rigs the Super Bowl with help from John Madden. Bacon was the voice of Iago on Aladdin. Hey, what happened to the song? I just ate some bacon, so the mix came out all wrong. Bacon is the freedom, is the power, is the way. Bacon is the Indian who sang YMCA. Bacon is the answer, is the question, is your friend. Bacon is the savior that will save you in the end. Bacon, 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 bacon by the score. Bacon, 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 bacon galore. So you want to meet at Denny's, say round 8:04? As if I had the time to eat breakfast anymore.
Yum, yum, eat 'em up, yum.
Anymore.